Okay, finally making a video that I've been promising people for weeks now about the Tiger Performance communication setup in the Lift AV1 KOR helmet. I have my custom helmet here that has a setup that I personally built the helmet out with. It's a Headsets Inc. ANR and CEP setup with a DC M7 mic. Similar setup with the Tiger Performance communications package, but there's some big differences that are really nice that I really enjoy. And Lift is now using Tiger Performance as their installs and not using flighthelmet.com anymore. And Tiger has an in-house ANR communication setup that hasn't been out very long, and I believe the Lift helmet was kind of the first helmet to receive this package. I might be wrong on that, but I've had this communications package in this helmet for, oh man, two or 3 months now, and I love it. And so I wanted to talk about some of the differences between the setups and some conveniences, and I don't really have much that I don't like about the about this communications package compared to the Headsets Inc. Communication package. I'll talk a little bit about how I set this helmet up. This is probably more typical to what a lot of people have out there in their HGUs or MSA Galays and things like that. The Tiger Performance ANR package would be, something that's pretty new to the industry, pretty new to market, and obviously you can only get it from Tiger Performance. So other vendors, I don't believe, will carry this with the ability to install, but you can order this setup from Tiger Performance to put in your own helmet, which is great. So if you have a helmet with a setup that you want to change, you can send it to them. They'll build the helmet out for you, or I'm sure you can just order. If you have pretty standardized specs and you have a little bit of background with installation here, you could do it yourself. Standard ANR CEP Headsets Inc. kind of setup here. 9-volt battery box. My extra is panel powered, so I don't use the battery box in that. It's got a standard standard GA cable. I added the gosh, what is it, a 385? Yeah, the 385 quick disconnect as kind of a bailout cord, so to speak, because it didn't have anything else that would suffice for that. So that kind of helps with the quick disconnect, and then it allows you to leave the cord in the airplane if you want to unplug the helmet. Obviously, CEP. ANR performance is okay. I really like ANR and CEP. My airplane's pretty loud, and really loud airplanes, I think ANR and CEP is a must, and it's great because it gives you a little flexibility. If you don't want to use CEPs in an airplane that's not as loud, you can have at it. You can see there's the bailout cord there, CEP plug there. Pretty standard stuff. I modify all my Lift helmets to incorporate an HGU 55 Aquila visor. Aquila Optics makes really good visors, and I prefer those visors. I had a bunch of them, and so it's kind of started off with the first Lift helmet. I was like, well, I have a bunch of colored visors, and I didn't want to waste them. And then I ended up really liking the setup, so that's kind of why you see that difference there than a standard Lift helmet. All right, so overall, happy with the ANR and CEP performance of that. It's not, the audio quality is not going to blow your hair back. It's not Bose. It's not Lift. I'm sorry, it's not Lightspeed, but quality is okay. Coming over to the Tiger Performance ANR setup, so I'll show you the helmet. It's fairly similar to the Active or the Headsets Inc. setup. CEP plug there. It's got a bailout cord here, and it uses a different type of plug, and I can't remember what this plug is called or what the designation is. M7 mic. So when you order these helmets, it'll most likely come with an M7 or an M7 equivalent mic. So same kind of mil spec for mic performance there, and then you can choose different boom options. The real kind of difference with these setups is going to be the control module here. So it's got the same ANR and CEP. Obviously, PNR is a backup, passive noise reduction. So it's got the ANR, active noise reduction, and CEPs as well. And so you can kind of use a combination of, kind of whatever you want. You don't have to turn on the ANR, then the speakers become passive. You can use that and CEP, so you don't use batteries if you don't want to. That performance is okay. Again, in loud airplanes, I prefer the ANR and the CEP. You can use the ANR without the CEP, and you can use the headset or the helmet as just a straight PNR headset as well, or helmet as well. So you don't have to even use the ANR, and it'll have PNR as a backup. Big difference here right away is Bluetooth, and so you have the ability to use Bluetooth for music or making phone calls, things like that. This is basically the control module for the Tiger performance setup, and a lot of you guys will probably notice that looks very similar to the Faro Audio Link, I believe is what it's called, or Stealth Audio Link, something like that, that allows you to kind of plug a headset or a helmet that has GA plugs that's non-Bluetooth, and it kind of adds the ability to give Bluetooth. It's the same, basically the exact same. I think I left it in the other room, but it's the exact same as the Faro. So I'm guessing that Faro, or whoever supplies Faro with their modules to build up that unit, also supply Tiger Performance. So it's pretty standard. AA batteries in there, volume control for the helmet, which is really nice. Bluetooth control here. I'm a big proponent of music when I fly, so I love having the ability to listen to music. Another big feature of the Tiger Performance setup is how modular it is. So obviously you got the bailout cord here, which is great, but the plugs are modular, so you can actually put in, if you want, if you have Limo or gosh, what are the other plugs? Bose panel powered, and helicopter jacks, anything like that. You can change the plug setup pretty easily. So if you hop from airplane to helicopter, or different airplanes that have different plugs, it's great. One of the things that I kind of ran into flying, if I'm hopping between extra 300, extra 200, or extra 300s, or extra to Pitts, different various aerobatic airplanes from my own, my airplane had the panel powered plug, and so like with this helmet, I would forget. Where's that guy? Like if I go flew my airplane to a different airport to go fly somebody else's airplane, I wouldn't bring this. I'd forget it because my airplane's panel powered. So I'd get there and I would not have the ability to use ANR in that airplane. So that was kind of a bummer. Whereas here, you have battery powered and panel powered options. So I did the zip ties here just to keep it together. But there's the panel powered plug. It's the same as the headsets Inc. So kind of a standard power panel. Your airplane might already have it. My airplane did. So I use that, and then if I hop into another airplane, I have battery backup here to use ANR, and I don't have to bring anything separate. So it's all kind of in line and connected there, which is great. A little bit in the helmet. I don't want to pull back too much of the helmet, but Tiger really seals the ear cups inside. So there's an ear cup here, and it's a composite. Gosh, we did a couple they did a couple different iterations of ear cup design to get more passive attenuation out of the ear cup. And so I think this might be the molded plastic one, and then they actually put some shielding around the ear cup here, some foam insulation to get better passive attenuation out of the setup. Overall, really happy with it. I've had no issues with it. Performance compared to both of them, or compared to each other, I'd say ANR performance is very similar. Audio quality is very similar. Again, it's not going to be a Bose A20 for music and audio quality, and it's not a Zulu H-Mod in terms of that quality, that kind of high level of audio quality. But the Headsets Inc. setup's only like a couple $100. It's like $300. This setup is substantially cheaper than a Bose A20 setup in a helmet. So when you're looking at cost for performance, I can't remember what this was, but it was something like $700 or $800 to do a Bluetooth, ANR, and CEP kind of communications package. That's pretty cheap when you compare the Bose A20s. When you wire it up for a helmet, it ends up being like $1,400 or $1,500, which is great. But most people can't do CEP with the Bose setup. I think Tiger Performance did figure out a way to do it. I can't remember, but I would imagine that the cost on that, you're probably almost upwards of $2,000 to do that. And then the Zulu H-Mod had a lot of problems. It's not a communication package that I really recommend. I haven't heard a lot of great things about it, but it's a light speed ANR Bluetooth setup for a helmet. But you can't do CEPs on that either. So I have to look up again. I'm pretty sure Tiger can do CEP with the Bose, but you're talking over double the cost. So for the price, Super happy with it. It works really well in the airplane, and I love the modular design. So if like something breaks on it, you know, like the speakers or anything like that, you can pull an ear cup out, replace the ear cup, plug it back in, you're good to go. Anything with the control module, or like I said, the plugs, like if you need to go to an Airbus plug, a Limo plug, a military plug, anything, they have the various cables to do that, so you can really customize your setup. And then if you fly multiple things, you can have them all in your flight bag, and you don't have to have multiple helmets or swap out a bunch of stuff. So it's really good. If you guys have any questions, you guys know where to find me. I've had a lot of requests to make this video on just kind of highlighting the Tiger Performance communication setup. Overall, I'm very happy with it. I've put probably 30 plus hours on the helmet, and I've had no issues with it whatsoever. It's working really well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, hit me up.